you gave out some tips for the main event earlier. Did you have any other specific aspects that you think like you're just really kind of locked in on in that contest that give you a better handle of like the draft room and then just during in-season management compared to the average main event player?
Yeah, I do. And it works for me. And it may not work for other people, but all I can tell you is what I do. So I try and develop a viable game plan. What does that mean? It's easy to say that. So I do my own player evals. I don't rely on any projection systems or anything like that because why not just have the projection systems draft your team if you're going to utilize them? So I don't use them at all. My own player evals, I figure out who I like. I envision what my roster will look like given ADPs. I don't just bumble into the draft and, hey, let's see what falls to me. I kind of know what my team's going to look like when I walk into the draft room. I stay balanced throughout the draft. No crazy strategies like taking 5 pitchers to start the draft. And this is key for key players. I like to take them off the board a round or two early. This allows me to run the table and force the team that I want to come up with rather than somebody acquiring one of my key cogs in my machine. I can't let that happen, so I will jump people. I don't give a shit about ADP at all. All I use that for is to tell me when I need to jump my players. I'm not going to jump everybody, but I'll jump core players. And if there's some player that, I'm lukewarm on and he happens to fall, I'll try and fit him in the plan. So basically on draft day, when I walk in, I feel like I have the answers to the test ahead of time. And I'm just there to execute my plan. There's not a lot of thinking, wiggle room, things like that. I'm a very scripted drafter.
Yeah, I love it. And like I said, we've been in live drafts together. I see you with your notepad and your pen, and you get on the clock and you're just very sort of like meticulously looking and just like boom, like surgical. So yeah, I dig the style, and I think I think a lot. I've heard some drafters who I think are almost sort of really sort of married to projections and just sort of value. Um, they can run into a little bit of trouble like in the main event just because you do need to just get some guys that are going to break out, like you said. And if you're just so worried about value and like what do the projections say, you're just not going to get those core targets like you were talking about because it's too good of a room. Each league, even the worst leagues, the sharpest managers are on a lot of the same people. So
James and your listeners, projections will never have the breakout players projected to break out. They never will. It's just how projections are derived. They'll never have a breakout. You'll get some regression to the mean, and you'll have some like most likely outcome of the stats. And if that's what you're using, you'll never have the breakout players. You need to do your own research and find out who the potential breakout candidates are and roster them. Am I going to hit on everyone? Hell no. I just want to hit on a couple to give my chance an opportunity to win.
So I said we're going to talk about building a main event staff here. So I've got the starting pitchers who are going by February draft champions ADP. I gave you the list of like the top 23 or so. And I wanted to know what is the cutoff for you, Mark, of pitchers that you'd feel comfortable, content is the word I used, having as your SP1.
Yeah, so for me, somebody like a Cole Reagans or a Max Fried, both those guys should be good, but both do come with concerns. And Reagans had a rotator cuff strain last year. Fried doesn't get the massive strikeouts, but those would kind of be if why I say they'd be my last SP1s is if I have to select them as my SP1, I've probably done something wrong in my draft because I'm not targeting those guys. They'd have to fall to me, and it'd have to be like, I did something wrong. And now, not that I'm panicking, but I have to draw a line in the sand somewhere and take an SP1. It would kind of be like one of those two types of guys. Now, for the gamblers out there, right? And this guy's getting major hype. Kyle Bradish is the pick. Okay. In the last 2 years, he's thrown a combined 71 innings in the majors. However, that's come with an excellent 2.8 xFIP and a 12 K per nine. So for the gamblers, that would be the pick. I don't think I'll end up with him anywhere again, unless I do something wrong in the draft. I got my guys that I'm kind of focused on, and I'll find a way to get one of them.
Yeah, that was a well worded answer. Very lawyerly. Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, I got the guys I like. I'm going to try and acquire them, set my KDS to make sure I get an SP1 I like. If something happens and, I deviate from the plan, I could find myself in jeopardy of getting one of these SP1s on paper. But am I really comfortable with them as an SP1? I don't like to do that personally. I like the nice peace of mind. That's just me personally. Everybody has their own draft philosophy.
And for the listeners, I'll just list the pitchers going ahead of Cole Reagans and Max Fried. So that's Skubal, Crochet, Skeens, Christopher Sanchez, Yamamoto, Brian Wu, Logan Gilbert, Sale, Hunter Brown, Hunter Green, and Jacob deGrom.
Now, out of that group, James, I will say the one I'm watching most this spring is Christopher Sanchez. Okay, he dominated last year thanks to a velocity uptick of I think over 1 mile per hour from 2024, and that was on top of a 2 mile an hour velocity increase from 2023 to 24. So I'm interested in seeing if he's able to keep that velocity. I know it's spring training, but if he's down a couple miles per hour, I'm going to take my foot off the pedal with him. However, if it's close to what he was last year, I think that perfectly validates his current ADP of like the 2-3 turn. I think it validates that even after just one really good year.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he validates it, he will certainly be going probably closer to the 1-2 turn, right? In the main event.
I mean, that's getting rich. If you're taking him at the 1-2 turn, why not just take one of the big three in the first round?
Well, they're not going to be there in the main, you think?
Well, I mean, no. You set your KDS for like 7.
Oh, yeah,
like 7, 8, 9. You'll get one of those guys at 7, 8, 9.
Right. I mean, you got to have that foresight though, and be willing to not chase Judge and Ohtani up there. But yeah, that's definitely one way to go about it.
Yeah.
Now, so that we covered SP1. Now, how much targeting goes on for you, Mark, with your SP2, SP3 picks? Are you often grabbing the same guys in a lot of your drafts, or are you looking to kind of diversify among a broader group? Obviously, you're not considering everybody, but how are you going about assembling your SP2 and SP3 throughout your leagues?
Yeah, so ideally, every one of my picks will be a target.
Right.
Ideally, okay. So I'll basically have tiers of pitchers that I like in SP1, like a group of 4 or 5 guys that I like as SP1, 4 or 5 guys I like at SP2 and 3, so on and so forth. So obviously I'll have my favorite in each tier. However, only one team can win the 200K, so why not diversify a little bit, especially with the higher draft capital? Imagine selecting Schwellenbach on all your main event teams before he got hurt. You'd be sick.